Fitin10 Nation, we are into day 47, into week 7 now, Martina, if you can believe that. Week 7 and 24 days to go? Something like that. 24 days to go. We just wrapped up our 4th check-in. And, as always, Martina, at this point in the challenge, we get people that start to peter away. So if you were one of those people that not peter away, you did your check-in. If you were one of those people that did not check in with us, what do you want to say to those people?
Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, you've paid the money. I mean, it's your time to shine. If you haven't noticed, we've reached out to you through Slack, we've reached out to you through email, some people through texts, yeah. And next will be a phone call. That's what you're going to get from us. So there's no sense in running away from it. Even if you put in some of the effort, rather than all of the effort. You've got to keep working towards this, right, Martina? You've got to keep putting it in. You can't hide from this unless you've decided that it's just not important to you, you don't care. But I don't believe that's true. I don't think that's the case. I think you're in this for a reason. I think you decided to join. I think you decided to pay the money that you did to be part of this challenge. So anyways, you'll be hearing from us. The Fitin10 police, right? Okay, Martina, I got a question for you. Somebody asked, how many steps per day does it take to lose fat?
10,000.
10,000, okay. So there's a magic number that once we get to, we start losing fat, is that right?
I don't know, of course not. It's not as simple, right? It comes down to NEAT, but it's important. It's part of
NEAT,
it.
what's NEAT?
Non-exercise activity. Thermogenesis, but.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely your everyday movement will add up and probably adds up more than what people will give credence to in terms of helping to maintain or improve your body composition.
Oh yeah, we can talk about it because I think that's the reason why I did not make as many progresses as I should have.
I am a huge fan of steps.
I know.
Watching those steps per day, trying to get in, I like a minimum of 10,000 steps per day.
I agree.
This is why, for me, I start almost every single day. I will start with about 6,000 steps in the morning.
Oh, it's so minimum during the winter.
Minimum 5,000 steps.
I start work at 7 a.m. What am I supposed to wake up at 5?
Well, I mean, obviously there's a point at which I don't think 5 is that bad, to be honest with you, but
of course you don't.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 4 is pushing it a bit. Definitely 3 is getting a little bit crazy. Anyways, we don't need to go there, but. Getting in your steps it makes a huge difference. Bottom line, for sure. Now, how many steps per day for fat loss?
It depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on so many things. It depends on how much activity you're doing. It depends on your calorie intake, all that. I mean, essentially, if we want to look at big picture here, we're going to stay away from nuances because there are nuances with diet and training and all that, but we're going to stay away from that. We're just going to look at big picture. It's all about calorie balance.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's all about calories in, calories out. So if you are already doing a lot of exercise and you're restricting your calories, then maybe NEAT's not going to be that important, right? But if you are somebody who likes to eat or you're somebody who's giving yourself more calories, obviously we're maybe not referring to people in the Fitin10, although we do give quite a few calories to people in the Fitin10.
Well, you have been pretty generous with me for sure.
How many calories are you getting, by the way, right now?
Oh, now I'm down to 1,600, but that's rated pretty
16? Or you think you're over 16? What, 1,650 or something?
It's still 1,600.
Yeah, it's still in the 1,600s.
Ugh.
Yeah. Anyways, steps matter is the point. Your
Very
overall calorie balance is what it comes down to. If you take more steps, you're going to burn more energy, and that's going to help you to. It's going to help you on the calories out end of things.
Yeah, right? And then beyond that, you know this, and that's the reason why you start your days with your walks, right? That is highly beneficial for your mood, for your willpower, for everything is improved with more steps.
Doing stuff, getting stuff accomplished, even if it's little things, will help you to get the ball rolling, so to speak.
Yeah, primed.
Yes, you will feel better about yourself. We've talked about this in previous videos. If you get stuff done, just get stuff done. And sometimes if you're really struggling with this, and listen, I'm no pro at this. I have those days too. You just start with something small. clean your kitchen or something. Just do something. Get something accomplished. When it comes to steps, it's a great way to go because, as Martina was saying, this is going to really have a huge benefit. Benefit. What was I saying there? What two words was I trying to join?
An effect and benefit.
Yeah.
The benefit effect.
I made up that word, benefect.
I love it.
Yeah, it's benefect. Okay, it's a new word. Actually, I'm going to see if maybe that word exists. I'm sure it doesn't. Benefit and positive effect on you in terms of your mindset for the day. I was going to say, I don't know if you know this. Obviously, you do know this. I did a cold plunge for the first time. I've never done a cold plunge before. And so just stuff like that. I mean, that in particular has got an effect in terms of really getting adrenaline going and stuff like that. Hopping in a near 0 degree tub full of water. Anyways, I digress as we go down these rabbit holes. The point is here, if I had to give out a good step number, 10,000 steps per day.
I agree.
Okay, and that's not to say if you get 10,000 steps that you're going to burn fat, and if you get less, you won't. It really just depends on a whole other host of factors, right? Shall we look at some foods?
Sure.
All right, let's talk about some foods here. Okay, Martina, chocolate chips. What do you think? Okay, now people are probably going to think this one is an obvious one. Why would you have chocolate chips? Obviously, the chocolate chips is just junk food. But maybe not so much, right? If we go for maybe a really dark chocolate.
Well, you and I, we don't always agree with that. Right. I think that in terms of how much of it, how much of it you have is more important than, the quality to begin with, I think. Because if you have great quality and you eat a kilogram of chocolate, I think it's still worse than having a tablespoon of, whatever sugar. And I really think, I don't think that there's anything wrong really with sugar in food. And then when chocolate chips are done well, even the milk chocolate one, yes, it has sugar in it, but it has, cocoa butter, it has cocoa matter in it. And, we're talking just a few grams of carbohydrates. And I think if you stick to having this little, which the person that does it is probably listening to this video and usually has it with, let's say, like blueberry, Greek yogurt, a good source of protein, some fat, etc. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I guess it really just comes down to, ultimately we want to get the most bang for your buck. So what I mean by that is you got to weigh everything out and you want to look at all the benefits of food. So usually I like to say get really nutrient dense food. This is usually why I say single ingredient foods or natural foods or foods that you can pick, pull, harvest, or kill.
It's 1,700 calories per day and you have a tablespoon of chocolate chips. Do we need to talk about this?
Yeah. I mean, if you get dark chocolate, you're going to have much less sugar, you're going to have much more fat.
Milk is okay.
Yeah, again, having a little bit of this, fair enough. Like, I guess I'm probably not going to, it's not the end of the world. I guess it would boil down to everything else you're having as well.
I agree. So, and if the rest of the day is great.
And this is one reason why I'm not a fan of people that have a lot of little additives into their diet all the time. Like all through the day, they're putting all these little things in. Kind of not a fan of that unless we're talking like vegetables or something. But if we're talking like a bunch of condiments or little things like this, like if you have chocolate chips and the rest of your diet's great, and you're having, I don't know. You're having 30 grams of chocolate chips.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
It's almost like it's a treat. It's like it's a sugar craving.
But there's a big difference between 40% chocolate and 80%.
Yeah, but right? Again, I think it has to do with quantity.
Big difference in terms of sugar and fats. All right, let's pull up another one here. How about crackers?
I love crackers. I think crackers are great.
My problem with crackers are generally these are one of those types of foods that
is like crack.
Yeah. It's these foods that you can consume endlessly, it seems like.
In large quantities. Yeah.
So my suggestion would be
have only 3.
Low ingredient. Okay.
To be honest with you, most of them are. Cracker is one of those things. It's not like biscuit. It's not like cookies, right? It's usually the ingredients in those things is like soda water, not even a leavening agent. It will
soda
be like,
water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Soda water could be an ingredient. Mostly it's just like, usually it's flour, salt, and nothing else, right? So it is like a pure source of carbohydrates. You're right about the fact, they can add cheese, cracked peppers and things of the sort. But I'd say that if I was to bet, 80% of crackers are actually pretty clean in terms of how many ingredients, because it's the thing that it's like flour, water, pressed together, dry out in the oven, ready to go. You can make your own, by the way. It's really good. I mean, sorry. Yeah, you can add seeds. I like seeds.
My question is just on a
Quantity.
on a basis of quantity, on a
Yeah, that's
basis
what
of
I'm saying.
satiety,
Yeah.
how how these crackers are made. So if they're more fibrous cracker or something like that, then that's
I mean, it's white flour, so I know what you're saying, but at the same time, again, you make it at home, you put a cup of flour, a whole bunch of different seeds in there, you put soda water, you bake it in the oven, you have just like one thing, like as a form of carbohydrates, with a little bit of fat. Is it that bad? we really don't see eye to eye here.
Again, it really depends on the other foods in there. No, I mean, as a if you want my general opinion on this, no,
Yeah.
not a fan of crackers. Period. Okay, there might be the odd cracker out there that's decent, but for the most part, we're not getting a lot of nutrition here. They're probably going to be very easy to eat, and if they are like a lot of other crackers in which they induce like some of these hunger cues, like they just make you come back for more because of the way that the texture in your mouth, or the fact that they just they're designed in such a way that you can consume a lot of them.
Yeah.
Then I'm not a huge fan of those at all. Absolutely
I know
not.
what you're saying, yeah.
No. And this is usually this is the way, generally speaking, this is the way these types of foods, especially if you're buying them from, you're not making them on your own, which doesn't get, even if you make them on your own, doesn't guarantee that they're not going to be, highly palatable and delicious to eat. I'm just not a fan of those foods, right? I'm a big fan, generally speaking, of real whole foods or single ingredient foods. Okay, fruits, vegetables, tubers, certain grains,
I'm making your
meats.
crackers. Yeah. I want to see this. I want a video on Martina's crackers, and
Let's we'll get on this today.
Okay.
All right, we are definitely out of time here. We are over time. In fact, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit.
I know this one.
Yeah, you got to be patient. You got to be humble. You got to put your time in, and the results will show. But sometimes it takes time, and sometimes it takes a certain amount of patience in terms of reevaluating what's going on, finding out where you're going wrong. But the key is to keep trying, right? But you can't expect results like that. It doesn't matter what you're working towards in life. And this goes for so many things. Obviously, with weight loss, people want 10 pounds in a week. That's not realistic. At least not with fat. There's some ways to do that to bring your weight down in many in a very short period of time, but that's not what we're looking for, right?
That's right.
Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude, and we'll talk to you all very soon.